This is Toronto, the capital of North America, birthplace of funk, where the albino panther roams free. I'm your host, Don, and this is the Ridonculous Race.
Welcome to the Ridonculous Race review with your host, not Don, aka Ryder. Hey guys, it's Ryder here with our third installment of the Ridonculous Race reviews. I know this is kind of late. Everything kind of got backed up. Animation block ended up going on Sunday, yesterday, and Ridonculous Race is today on Monday. I know, it's a crazy thing. But you'll see another animation block and another Ridonculous Race review next Saturday on the regular schedule. And sadly, we only have about 2 weeks left of the Ridonculous Race, so you only see a few more of these, but let's make the most of it and let's have a good time in this episode. So, let's start talking about what happened last week. Now, there's some teams that really started to get eliminated, and they're really starting to, kind of close off and kind of, shimmy down more to the teams that are actually going to be important and actually make it really far and, more of the main characters. Like, for an example, I know this was the first team that was eliminated, but the LARPers, the live-action roleplay guys, the magic people, I mean, you could tell that they were just, even from the start, they were just never going to be, characters that mattered. I know that's sad. But I know, I'm sorry if you like them, but I just don't feel, certain ones you can just tell they're not going to matter. I thought that was going to be this thing with, the rockers, really. The rockers ended up actually being a big deal, but, of course you could kind of tell that they weren't going to make it that far, which is sad, because I was starting to actually like them. And Spud, once we got some more character development with Spud, he started to grow on me. Then with the Step Brothers, I didn't really care for the Step Brothers at the beginning either. I thought, I thought at a certain point in the season, they actually started to become interesting and fun. And, it was a shame because, and I'm just going to put this out there right now, spoilers, because I'm going to reveal something, so I suggest you click out of this if you haven't seen last week's episodes. Alright, I warned you. They both got eliminated, both those teams, the Rockers and the Step Brothers, they both got eliminated, right, at a double elimination day. Now, I think we're going to start to see a lot more double elimination days. I think we have 8 teams left right now, 8. There's a new episode tonight, so of course I'm not really talking about that. That'll be in next week's episode, or next week's review chat thing. But, we saw, we're going to see, and we saw that, they're actually going to start to work on elimination. So, because there's 10 episodes left, we'll probably see at least 2 non-elimination episodes. But that means we'll also probably see at least 1 to 2 double elimination episodes. So, that's going to be a big deal. I don't know what's going to happen for the season finale. I can't really say yet, because I don't know. But I think right now they're really starting to narrow it down to teams that are going to matter. And I like it. Moving on to Noah and Emma. So that relationship, it's somewhat ended, but it's also still going on. So really, there was an episode during the week where Emma was beyond obsessed with Noah. Beyond. She was talking about getting married to him, and it was a little creepy. No, I'm just kidding. But it was, it's whatever. It's fine. And I really am a big fan of that story right there. I really like Emma and Kitty. I think they are characters to remember. They are some of the more normal characters on the show, which is always it's cool. I like the normal ones. They're fun. I feel like they do really well on the regular Total Drama as well. But so whatever. But Emma kind of ended that relationship. Noah went into a shock, like a mental shock, and he just it was kind of weird. It was like he was there, but he wasn't really there. Then Emma's like, no, it's not that I don't like you or whatever. It's just that, you've become a distraction to me. And I just think that once I win the race, then we'll be together. And Noah's like, okay, I'm fine with that. And I don't know, there was an episode last week where Noah and Owen, they lost, but it was a non-elimination round. So, yeah, I mean, they got saved, but, I'm really rooting for those characters. I know that they're most likely not going to make it as far as I want them to, because, they've already been on Total Drama and everything, but, I don't know. I feel like they would be. I'd like to see them make it. I like to see them make it far. Owen's being himself. That's the bottom line. It's just Owen being Owen, and that was a lot of fun. Moving on to another relationship where we have Devin and Carrie. So a big thing this week was Devin and Carrie. They wanted to step up their game to get first place, so that Devin could make a phone call to Shelly. If you guys didn't know already, Devin has a girlfriend back home, or at least that's what we thought. Her name was Shelly. So he calls her up, and she's like, hey, I thought we broke up. And then he's like, no, what are you saying, Shelly? He's like, yeah, I'm dating my tennis instructor. So make a long story, it was like a 5-episode thing. It was like a long one. Make a long story short, Devin went from very sad, beyond sad, to kind of depressed, to really angry, to in denial. It's just a bunch of those, and it was the phases of breakup or something, the 7 phases, and it was pretty funny. Spud was explaining this to Carrie, and I'm like, Spud is the dullest bulb in this show, and he's explaining this to Carrie, But, so we'll obviously see some more with Devin and Carrie, but, I don't know, I'd like to see some more progress by now, we only have 2 weeks of competition left, and then the season's over. We don't even know if this will get a season 2. My guess is that it will. This is getting beyond positive reviews, and my guess, a lot of viewers overall. I mean, let's just take a look at what you guys have been, you guys. We have 7,000 views on our first review episode, and then we have 2,000 so far on our second review, for each of these weeks. I mean, together, that's 9,000 views, right? And let's say, let's be realistic here. I'm assuming that, there's at least 7,000 people, have obviously viewed this video. They probably saw the show. So that's just 7,000. And then imagine how many other people. So I think this show is doing really well, so we most likely will see a season 2, but that could be, next year, September of next year. And I'm kind of hoping that it's, in May or something like that we see it really come together. Now let's sort of talk about the cops and the ice dancers. So the ice dancers had a very interesting arc. They're back on top now after having terrible luck, after returning the burnt charcoaled rock to after returning all that bad luck from the lava rock from Hawaii back to Hawaii. They're back on top. So that's a problem now, isn't it? Because we need to really see them. I think that they're fun characters, of course, but they are the villains of this season, in a way. And the villainous contestants. So what usually comes from the villainous contestants? Well, they either, make it really far and lose, most likely, or they lose about halfway on and then they come back for season 2 pissed off. Here is a good example of that, Heather. Now, in season 2 with Heather of Total Drama, she was bald, right? Then in season 3, her hair started to grow back, and you guys get it. Certain villains like Alejandro, who Alejandro is probably, I think he is my favorite Total Drama character of all time. People like him, characters like him, they're smooth villains that you want to see win. I really kind of wanted to see Alejandro win, even though he was a villain. So, I don't know, I don't really get that same vibe with the Ice Dancers. But they're back on top, so you can see that that's going to be a problem. The cops, like, once again, I liked him at the beginning, but as time's gone on, I feel like MacArthur, who is the bigger cop, it's just really starting to annoy me, like, fart jokes. Like, I get it. It's a kid show. And, of course, some of the fart jokes work. They work. And they're fine. But they work more with, like, Owen. And I feel like that Owen's the character for that. MacArthur, I kind of liked where she stood at the beginning. Somebody who was willing to break some laws even though you're a cop. Like, look at that irony. That's funny irony. Not this, hey, can I eat all this beans? Hey, you don't get any of this beans that I'm going to eat. Like, because she, it was like an all-in one, But they have some good chemistry, the cops. But I just don't see them going as far as, some of these other contestants. I see Emma and Kitty going far. That's just how that's sort of just my visual right now. But I could be wrong, of course. Of course I could be wrong. The father and son did get eliminated this, I believe it was Friday. They got eliminated. I think that they were okay with that. I definitely see Junior returning in a Season 2. I almost see him returning in, like, Season 2 and then coming back in, like, Season 3. Because we know that he liked Carrie. That was something that was a given. We already knew that. But I love to see him return in, like, Season 3 as this, like, massive, like, really built-up dude who Carrie just starts to like. I feel like that would be fun. I don't know. I think that's definitely a character that will return. The Surfer dudes, they are still in this, and they are actually one of those teams that they consistently do well. So I'm a fan of them because they're chill. I like Jeff. I always liked Jeff from the first season of Total Drama. And he was a fun character. I love to see Bridget return. I love Bridget. Bridget was awesome. But Brody's pretty cool. I like Brody. He's always wearing that bro tank, but they're just so chill. And I think that's what's really cool about this. They're chill. They have like a bit of an alliance with the cops. So you can see how that could affect them if the cops did get eliminated. But, well, whatever. We'll have to see. I think that they can make it far as well, but I don't feel, I think that they're trying to erase the fact that both Owen, Noah, and Jeff have all been on Total Drama before. But at the same time, I feel like, both the Surfer dudes and the reality TV pros, both of them, both of those teams, they've had experience. So I feel like they wouldn't have one of them win, which is always sad because I'm a big fan of them. But, we'll have to see really what happens overall. I'm kind of liking everything that's going on right now with, them and overall them. How about the haters? I was about to say how about the daters, but, they're the haters now. This made for a really cool arc. Now, from the beginning, Ryan, damn, I forget her name every time. Forget it every time. But Ryan, I'm a big fan of Ryan, the big guy, the hater, one of the haters. But I just feel like I felt like when we first watched it, when that first couple episodes aired, how they were daters. Every 2 seconds they'd just be kissing, and I thought that would make for some comedic styling, right? It just started to get to a point where it got old. And then they had them hating, and then they started, like, beyond hating each other. And then I'm like, yes, there we go. Now, the female hater, once again, I'm sorry, I forget her name. It's hard to remember because there's so many different characters, but I know Ryan. I'm a big fan of Ryan. Her, on the other hand, I think she's a really fun character. So I'm actually a big fan of the team. I feel like they could make it really far, but I feel like she is a villain. So I don't know what they would do with that. Ryan, on the other hand, this dude is hilarious and he's cool. So I think that that would be really cool in like season 2 if we could see something like with his return. But here's what I'd love to see for a season 2. For all of the teams to maybe come back, or maybe they add a new team and they remove one team. But for the most part, if they did a season 2, all the teams stay the same. If they mix up the partners, so it's like it wouldn't be Devin and Carrie, but it'd be like Devin and Ansui, I believe that's one of the Goths, and like Carrie and Ryan, and something like that. And they could do something cool like that and mix up the teams a little. I don't know. That's just something I feel like would be interesting to see. What else do we have? Well, we have, I'm missing the Goths. So yeah, here are the Goths. So the Goths, they're doing what they always do. They're taking their time. They're doing it right. And that's just how they are. I like that. I like the chillaxness of them. At the same time, they have really funny scenes. Some of the stuff that they say is just like, yeah, that's something I could see the Goths saying. But then, they just have like some really funny moments. And I think that's the big stuff. So I'm a big fan of them as well. I just don't see them making it far. I think that they could make it far, but also like at the same time, it just doesn't, because they're so relaxed and everything. I feel like maybe not. Maybe they win the whole thing. Who knows? If they did, I'd be a little disappointed just because they just haven't given the effort that I love to see. Like how about we're gonna use an example of Courtney from the original Total Drama seasons. I thought that character was really awesome. Why? Because number one, I liked Courtney. She was like a villainish kind of at the same time, but she really wanted it. We don't know if the Goths really want it. They're just there. We don't know why. So that's why I feel like maybe this could just be something that doesn't last that long. But I don't know. Moving on to Don. Don gets funnier by the week, I thought he was going to be this, like, goody two-shoes, this really awesome dude who just is a really great guy, and he's always smiling, and I thought that was the kind of host they were going to use. And somebody who was really just, a nice dude, and who cared about rules and safety, and man, have I been wrong. As time goes on progressively, he's resembled more and more of Chris. And I feel like, this might be the right level right now of I feel like, I think that Chris needed to tone it down a little bit. Back in, since about Total Drama Revenge of the Island, I just think that, it kind of got to a point where Chris was to a maximum level of crazy, which was really fun. Still love Chris, still love Chef. But I think Don is always going to stay like this. He's going to have a bit more of a, non-craziness to him, but he's also going to have that Chris element. So that's why I feel like they could be really cool if we saw them co-host. We've never really seen a co-host before, so unless you really count Chef, but I don't really think so. Overall, I think that this has been another solid week. We're getting more episodes this week and more next week. And I'm definitely looking forward to seeing some more of this. I don't know, you guys gotta let me know what right now in the current standings. Who are you predicting to really come out, Ridonculous and victorious? And how do you think that's all gonna happen? How is it all gonna work out? Let me know. I think it's really just gonna be fun overall. And I'm really looking forward to this. So, yeah, like I said, let me know, and thank you so much for watching and all of the views. We'll be back next week and the week after that with some more ridonculousnesses. Yeah, so I'm your host, Not Real Don, and this has been the Ridonculous Race Review.